When should you focus on a retention strategy as an e-commerce business? The reality of it is that retention does not matter without a consistent flow of new customer acquisition. You cannot get a customer back to site to purchase again from you for a second or third or fourth time if you don't have consistent new customers in the first place. So the question becomes, at what rate of new customer acquisition does it start to make sense to focus and invest into retention efforts? Firstly, let's start with email and SMS flows. You should have basic flows set up no matter what your revenue level is, even if it's $1,000 a month. And the reason for this is you're just leaving money on the table if you don't have basic abandoned checkout, browse abandonment flows set up alongside post-purchase flows. Now, once you start to go above $50,000 per month and you start to close in on a $1 million business, that's where it starts to make sense to invest more heavily into advanced flows, which start to go into trigger splits, having 10 plus flows for all different actions on site, as well as individual customer journeys. When it comes to regular email campaigns, and this is really the core of a retention strategy, I've broken it down to basic in-house management versus retention service, as well as consumable versus non-consumable. So let's start at the top and work our way down. Basic in-house management, I've defined this as you as the founder or maybe a marketing lead within the company is sending out a few emails per month, 1 to 2 emails, but without much intent behind them. There isn't a full-blown retention strategy here, but you're simply sending emails to try to generate some extra revenue and some returning customer revenue. If you sell a consumable product, you should be doing this from day dot. And the reason for that is that even if you have one customer, if you have a good consumable product, they will consume that product and likely want to buy again. And so you want to be sending regular email campaigns to make sure that you're at the forefront of their mind, reminding them about your brand so that they do come back and buy. For a non-consumable product, you're going to see a much lower repeat purchase rate. And so your ROI on investing in regular email campaigns and putting your time here is not going to be as relevant. It's not going to be the highest lever point in the early days. And so I don't really recommend having a large degree of focus on this until you're at above 30K per month in new customer revenue. That's where it starts to make sense to put a slight focus on an EDM strategy, on a retention strategy, as you can likely start to unlock an additional $3,000-$4,000 in revenue per month here, which is going to pay for the time investment that you're going to put into these emails. Now, when you start to actually look at a full retention service, scoping in a 3 to 4 month plan ahead of time to enable the highest LTV and the highest repeat purchase rates from your existing customer database, this ends up coming down to what return can you yield from doing so. And you only really start yielding a return that makes financial and economical sense at around about these numbers. Now, these are very loose estimates, and this will change depending on your exact business model, what niche you're in, etc. But I wanted to provide some guidelines here that you can hold yourself to as you're scaling over time. If you sell a consumable product, it really starts to make sense if you're doing more than $40,000 per month in new customer revenue. And the reason being is that you can likely begin to unlock an extra $10,000, $20,000 per month through really investing into a solid retention strategy to get these new customers back to site in the following months. And this will continue to compound every month as you start to acquire more and more new customers into your list. If you sell a non-consumable product, the return is going to be less. You're not going to be able to get as many customers back to site to purchase again, but there still is going to be a significant ROI once you're doing above $120,000 a month in new customer revenue. So it's at these numbers that you should really bookmark in your calendar and look to start to invest in consistent 4 emails per month where you're scoping out a comprehensive retention strategy that aligns directly with new customer acquisition.